Good morning. It is 9 a.m. and we begin with breaking news here on Daybreak. We've got an update to a story that we've been following all morning long. We've just confirmed within the last few minutes that this scene that we've been showing you on Bailey and Andover in Buffalo is connected to a deadly shooting. Our cameras got there around 3 a.m. and saw part of the road blocked off by yellow police tape, again at Bailey and Andover. City officials tell 2 on your side that a man was shot in the chest and he was taken to ECMC where he died. Police are now investigating the incident. They haven't said anything about any arrests. Anyone with information should contact them immediately. Now to our other top story this morning. A mother and her 2 children who were murdered this week have been laid to rest. Police say Saleh Mohammed, who's the husband and father, killed them at their home on Ellen Drive in Cheektowaga, and he's set to face a judge today. Mohammed's also accused of killing a 4th person in Buffalo that same day. And while the legal process plays out, friends, family, and community members are honoring their lives. They gathered at a mosque in East Buffalo for their funeral services yesterday. After the services, loved ones guided an escort to the final resting place for Aisha Abdullah and her 2 sons, who were only 3 and 4 years old.
It's not going to be easy. It's an extremely difficult situation for the family, for the friends, for the community.
It hurts when it comes so close to you and to the neighborhood. It really hurts. And especially, like I said before, especially with kids that are 3 and 4 year olds, it gets tear your heart apart.
The 4th person who was shot and killed that day has been identified as Shukri Mutana. He was laid to rest Wednesday following a funeral at a mosque in Lackawanna. And the man accused of shooting a Buffalo police officer several times has been indicted by a grand jury. Minhas Siddiqui remains hospitalized at ECMC, and he did not appear in court yesterday. Police say Siddiqui shot Officer Mark Hurst several times during a domestic-related incident on Sherman Street last week. He's charged with attempted murder in the 1st degree. Officer Hurst was released from the hospital on Monday. Siddiqui is expected back in court June 15th. Well, in health news this morning, the Erie County Department of Health has confirmed the first local case of measles since 2018. Now, if you possibly came into contact with that person, you're being urged to watch for measles symptoms. The Erie County Health Department says the infected person tested positive on Wednesday after visiting another country where measles is more common. Officials say the person visited several places in Erie County while infected. So take a look at your screen. Those places in Erie County are the emergency department at Children's Hospital on May 24th and the 28th, as well as a medical building on Broadway in Buffalo that houses the Jericho Road Community Health Center, Broadway Pediatrics, and other businesses.
Children under 5 years, individuals greater than 20, adults, immunocompromised individuals, and pregnant women, if unvaccinated, are at significant risk developing more severe disease.
And if you were at any of those locations during any of the times listed by the health department, officials are urging you to watch out for symptoms over the next several weeks. Common symptoms include a fever, cough, runny nose, watery eyes, and a rash, and usually appear 10 to 12 days after you've been exposed. If you do develop symptoms, health officials urge you to call a healthcare professional before you visit a clinic or emergency room. Today marks 5 years since this implosion at the former Tonawanda Coke plant, demolishing the smokestacks by using 180 pounds of dynamite. They were at the site for more than a century, but it took less than 10 seconds to bring them down. And environmental advocates saw it as a win for the community because of all the pollutants that came from the site. But now, many in the community are fighting new plans to turn that very site into an artificial intelligence data center. Neighbors have been raising their concerns about the potential impact to the environment and community. This week's Town Planning Board meeting drew dozens of people speaking out against the developer's proposal. Those in favor of the project say it would be beneficial to the region's economy. But those plans could soon change now with a data center moratorium on the brink of becoming law. The Responsible Data Center Development Act passed in the state assembly and the Senate, and it would require the state to issue data center permits, require utilities to establish an independent classification of service for large data centers, set energy efficiency goals for data centers and also provide benefits for host communities. The bill now heads to the governor's desk for her signature. And if that bill becomes law, it could also impact plans in Niagara Falls, where the city council just recently approved a settlement with Niagara Falls Redevelopment, or NFR, that would clear the path for a new arena and data center. Here's Mayor Robert Rustino's comments to the public about their concerns.
I guess I would say to them that last night wasn't the approval of a data center. Last night was the approval of an agreement between the two parties in litigation to try and achieve those things that they each wanted.
This settlement ends a years-long dispute with NFR to receive $4 million from the city, as well as rezoning for the rest of its land that is critical to the proposed project. 135 more beagles have been released from a breeding farm that has made national headlines. It's part of an agreement between Ridgeland Farms and rescue agencies across the country. The dogs will receive medical care before they are ready for adoption. The transfer comes weeks after a separate agreement to place 1,500 beagles with rescues, including one here in Western New York that received 8 of them. Ridgeland Farms was a breeding facility that sold dogs for research, but it has agreed to surrender its license by July 1st. And this comes as an effort to crack down on cruel animal testing continues in Washington, led by a member of our local delegation. 2 amendments passed this week, and they aim to stop taxpayer dollars from being used to require testing on dogs through the FDA and prohibit USDA funding for painful research on dogs and cats. It's something Congressman Nick Langworthy has been fighting for, and he just posted this on X late last night.
Momentum is building. The dam is breaking. And when it comes to ending harmful animal testing on dogs and cats, we're opening people's eyes across the country.
Supporters say they are pushing for more humane alternatives to animal testing. All right, it is 9:07 and Patrick is back here in the studio after being up on the roof. Really nice blue skies behind you now as some of the clouds are clearing out. It was a little bit cloudier earlier this morning.
It was some high clouds, but it was very nice up there on the roof. The roof, though, I'm going to admit, it's starting to get lonely. Now I know you come up every now and then. That is nice, but I feel like that's the only part of my day where I'm totally by myself the entire time. It's just bizarre.
Isn't solitude sometimes a wonderful thing, though?
Yeah, but then you start talking to yourself, right?
Do you?
So then I'm having to, oh, yeah.
You do.
I'm just kidding. No, it is nice to, because, you know, I'm never at home. I'm never alone. There's always somebody there.
Right.
Here, of course. And it's
and
like
wherever, you can't go anywhere without people wanting to stop and talk to you. So I would take those moments and have them as like moments of zen up on the roof. Mm-hmm. Listen to the birds.
Yeah.
Enjoy the fresh air.
I got to find a way to take that 4 or 5 minutes of my day up there and just embrace the solitude. But there are times when it's like I'm never up here with anybody. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh, Mike just said in my ear, maybe a yoga mat. I actually don't think yoga is a good idea for you.
I've tried it. I just don't have I don't have the mental capacity to hang with it.
The mental.
Well, the physical stuff, yes, I am not as limber as I'd like to be. But it's also the meditation you're supposed to do with it. And
your brain is not made for meditation.
The squirrel in the thing is going 100 miles an hour. Anyway, all right, moving on.
That would be the hamster wheel.
The hamster, yes.
But it's like a squirrel in your life?
Did I say squirrel?
You said squirrel.
Oh, who has a pet squirrel? Hamster, thank you. All right, 82 today. Sunshine with the high clouds from time to time. And then tomorrow will be, Saturday rather, will be in the 70s with scattered thunderstorms. I think, though, the rain opportunity will be pretty quick tomorrow. So lots of dry time for your Saturday and some sun as well. It's not going to be a washout of a day. Sunday looks pretty nice with some clouds in the morning, giving way to mostly sunny skies in the afternoon. Let's get to the cloud shot here. And you can see that gosh darn it, let's go right. Man, doesn't like it. There we go. We've got some rain showers in Chicago. These are the showers that are going to slowly move our way and arrive, it looks like, early tomorrow morning. And then another round of some showers midday, early afternoon is what we're thinking for your Saturday. Today, though, we're in the 80s. Tomorrow, It'll be, somewhat more cloudy at times and cooler, a little more humid though, breezy with some scattered thunder showers. And then for your Sunday, we're going to be in the 70s. There could be some clouds early, and then that will give way to a decreasing cloud deck, and it should become mostly sunny. All right, let's get to a future look. And boy, this clicker is in the
Your clicker
right no kidding. Okay, we've got future looks starting this evening, okay? 7:30, sun going down, high clouds really increasing. A couple of showers noticed tomorrow morning, probably sleeping through them between like 3 and 5 a.m. Then as we go into the afternoon, a couple of scattered thunder showers develop, and they'll move through into the mid to late afternoon and then clear out quickly. I just do not think outdoor plans, they may be delayed at times, briefly altered, but I think, there's just not enough thunderstorm activity to cause any cancellations of anything tomorrow. Really believe that. Then on Sunday, we're going to start off with some clouds. You can see that here, and then some clearing skies as we head into the afternoon. Looks really nice. Rainfall, 1/4 to 1/2 inch of rain is what we could see out of this. And then we're back to a dry weather pattern through most of next week. A little moisture may leak into the area Wednesday to trigger a couple of thunder showers, but temperatures next week will also be well into the 80s, Melissa. Very nice next week for sure, and quiet for the most part again.
Looking good.
Yeah.
Okay, Patrick, thank you. And stay with us. We're going to take a quick break. And coming back up, we will talk Bills and Greek Fest and Pride Parade and so much more. Stay with us. Welcome back. Okay, if you're not really interested in the actual Stanley Cup, how about the Stanley Pup? Yeah, it's adorable puppies, even some kittens looking for homes, each representing one of the 32 NHL teams, kind of like the Puppy Bowl. Organizers say it is a lighthearted way to help get shelter animals adopted. So I checked out the teams, and here's ours. This is Owen Bow Wower.
That's awesome.
Not Owen Power, but Bow Wower. I love it. He plays defense for the Sabres, and one fun fact about him is that he is an antique sword aficionado. The Stanley Pup airs Monday on True TV and streams on HBO Max. Look at the little guy.
I didn't know. Do you know Owen Power is like 6'7"?
Massive.
Everyone
sees Tage Thompson and thinks he's so
super
tall.
But Owen is like just as tall. But for whatever reason, his picture, which you only see his face, you just don't equate it with tall, and he's really tall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, he's massive.
Yeah.
And hopefully he'll have a better season next season. Maybe
he finished well. He finished strong.
Yes.
He did.
Hopefully Owen Bow Wower will have a better showing at the Stanley Pup.
Yeah.
Oh, cute though. Great idea. Bills OTAs are officially wrapped up. Mini camp starts next week. Christian Benford wasn't on the field for the first 2 weeks of the Bills' voluntary offseason program, but yesterday he was back at practice, and he enters the season as a key piece of Jim Leonard's defense and the clear top corner on a young unit. Benford says that he's enjoying working with the younger players and just being back on the field.
I felt good. Playing ball with the guys, chopping it up in the locker room with the guys. I always been working, but just getting the communication and getting the feel for the game with them, you know what I'm saying?
Benford and the rest of the Bills have mandatory minicamp next week starting Tuesday in Orchard Park. They've had really good weather.
They have. By the way, Benford is if you've ever listened to him talk, he is a thinker. He's very cerebral. He's very, he's kind of quiet.
Yeah.
But always has really, just things that make a lot of sense, and they're in depth, and I've always enjoyed hearing him.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
very nice.
but yeah, the weather's been spectacular. They, usually, I guess maybe their first OTAs or when they had, voluntary stuff, there was a lot of rain that they had to navigate. But boy, it's OTAs, last 2 weeks have been totally dry.
Yeah, really.
And then mini camp next week is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday? Is that what it is?
It's a great question.
Wednesday's the only day. And usually after 2 days they call it. And then get this, it goes from June 11th until training camp is like July 28th.
Yeah.
It's like a super long period between minicamp and
do they
training
not
camp.
do any, they don't even, do they study plays and books and things? Or do they not do anything except go to the gym on their own and hang out?
Some players stay, but no, I think most kind of clear out because it's think about it. I mean, this is kind of they didn't really have much of an off season, you know. You finish up in February and then.
But now they do have a lot to learn with.
Right, the new coach and
new defense, new offense, new everything.
But it's like 6 weeks between camps, so there's a lot of downtime.
All right.
Yeah.
And in other Bills news, the team tells Two on Your Side that a ribbon cutting for the new stadium is going to be on primary day. I don't know if they timed this very well. Tuesday, June 23rd. And so that's just about 2.5 weeks from now. You know, all the dignitaries will be there for the ribbon cutting. Team officials say the stadium is nearly finished. And the first big event that fans will be able to attend is the team's red and blue scrimmage in early August.
And 3 years ago today was when all the dignitaries were out there and did the shovel into the 3 years ago today. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean, I'm trying to
and the timing really worked out quite well. I mean, there was a little bit of time, maybe 6 months ago, I'm like, this is never going to be done. How are they going to finish? And then the setbacks with the graffiti. And 2 winters ago were really, really bad. Like the first winter that they started building, it was really, really bad.
It was.
So
but it was always the. I mean, I think it was mandated. This is the season of 2026 is when you will open.
Could you imagine if they weren't ready and they tore down the other stadium? Like, where would they play? Well, so we don't need to worry
Orchard Park High School. No, it's I don't think that was ever. I think they gave themselves a cushion.
Yeah.
But
and they didn't start tearing down until they knew that the stadium would be ready to go.
Hey guys, put the scoreboard back up. Put the goalpost back up. Put the seats back in.
And this morning, we are also celebrating some members of Bills Mafia and a really incredible journey that has taken 2 friends on a 665-mile bike ride. They're calling it the D6 Raptor Ride. For the past week, Rochester residents Billy Dolan and Rory Carmadello have been riding, look at that bus, that's pretty great, or RV, I suppose. They've been riding their bikes across 8 cities through the Midwest and the Great Lakes region. They started in Chicago, then they rode through Indiana, Ohio, Pennsylvania, and yesterday they arrived in Orchard Park. And they're doing it to raise awareness for mental health.
Literally, it's one pedal at a time, right? It really is that first pedal, and I think that's what motivated us is, you know, every step you're getting closer to the ones that you grow up with, that you love, and your family and your friends, and just reach out. You know, it all starts with talking to people and trusting that people are good, and get that in your sail, you're good to go.
The D6 Raptor Ride has raised more than $400,000 for charity, and it's going to be wrapping up today when they finish their ride from Orchard Park down to Rochester, where they live. So congratulations to them. Very cool. Bills Mafia always doing good things, not just, you know, breaking tables and things. Oh, and by the way, did you see Bob and John's La Hacienda, a pizza place, posted pictures that they said that they weren't allowed to say who was filming, but a really large camera crew was there with Ryan Fitzpatrick and a bunch of other people, and they're filming for something that's going to be airing in the fall. And they had like a massive pizza and a couple other things, and I'm trying to figure out what it is.
I'll tell you, Pete knows. Pete ran into Ryan Fitzpatrick
of course Pete knows.
like 3 days ago, right across the street. And he saw him, and he asked him, "What are you doing?" You know, and he's filming this thing. It's like a food showcase. There's man against something.
Man versus food.
It's something like that.
Okay.
Yes, and he's filming now. Yes.
Pinto Ron was there. I saw ketchup and mustard in the pictures, and Ryan Fitzpatrick. So yeah, it's something with Bills Mafia, something with food, but it may or may not be man versus food because I didn't see that guy.
Where's Pete? Pete knows.
Well, but everyone has been sworn to secrecy. I have a friend whose son works at the pizza place, and he had to sign an NDA.
Oh, really?
A non-disclosure agreement. So they were allowed to show pictures, but you couldn't show who. You couldn't say who it was. So Pete might know, but Pete's not allowed to say it on air. Although he didn't sign the NDA, so maybe he can.
No, but and he, of course, Fitz was very cool. As just
Fitz
the most.
The best.
Just the
Did
likable
you want
guy.
him back here in like some capacity as like an ambassador?
Exactly. I met him once, and he could not have been more genuine.
Really?
And nice. Yes. It was brief, but it was very nice.
Nice.
Very cool guy. He was wearing a shirt with Eric Wood's picture on it.
Okay, that's funny.
Just for the heck of it.
Yeah.
You know, Eric Wood. Why
Yeah.
not? It was really fun.
That's like you wearing a shirt with like Kevin O'Neal's picture on it.
I've got a whole wardrobe of Kevin O'Neal wear.
All right, speaking of which, he was at Greek Fest today, and we'll hear more about that coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Buffalo Pride is more than a celebration. For many, it's a reminder of the history, resilience, and community that helped to shape it. And Daybreak's Natalie Foss takes a look at one local performer whose story reflects the evolution of pride in Buffalo.
Pride means different things to different people.
Buffalo Pride is meant to be a stage, basically, for the community to shine.
But at its core, it's about community, visibility, and belonging.
A celebration of the history of Pride in Buffalo and beyond. It could be a celebration of your community, your heroes. You could just be colorful.
And for many, that stage didn't just appear overnight. It was built over decades by people who fought to be seen. A key part of that history is drag and performance art. And one Buffalo performer who helped shape that story is Siobhan Davis.
I've been doing drag for over 44 years, and 1 year I'm going to get it right.
But it hasn't always been easy, especially in the beginning.
One time we were doing a show at the bar called the Villa Capri, and the Buffalo police raided the bar. And it was during the winter, freezing out, and everybody had to leave the bar showing ID. And there was myself and 4 other drag queens, and we had to take everything off, everything, to prove that we were a man.
Those experiences are part of a much larger story, one that also includes pushing for representation in Buffalo's history. Siobhan helped push for the first gay float in the Buffalo Sesquicentennial Parade back in 1982, even suing the city after the initial request was denied.
I wanted to have a gay float because it was supposed to be representing all of Buffalo.
And she got her float, paving the way for what Pride in Buffalo looks like today, a celebration she's watched grow for decades.
And it's just so many people from all walks of life. And it's wonderful seeing all of that.
And even now, her message stays rooted in connection and understanding.
Regardless of your age, your generation, your political affiliation or something, learn about why somebody does something and who they are before you judge them.
For Siobhan, her mission is clear.
So my rule I always do is I can make one person laugh, feel good about themselves, forget about things. I've done my job for the day.
On your side, Natalie Foss, Channel 2 News.
So many trailblazers in this community, and so it'll be great to see them celebrate with so many other people on Sunday, and I'm looking forward to walking in the parade with you too.
Me too. It's going to be fun.
A lot of fun. By the way, Old Fort Niagara marking 300 years since French soldiers first arrived at the mouth of the Niagara River, and the milestone is being celebrated today through Sunday with public programs. Visitors can see demonstrations, reenactments, and cultural events from Indigenous dance and historic military displays to a rededication ceremony with officials from several nations. And the celebration honors the French castle, the oldest structure in the Great Lakes region. I really would love to go back. I did so many field trips there as a kid, and to go back and take it in as an adult now and kind of relearn everything, I think would be really fascinating.
And you think, like, there aren't many things in the United States that are 300 years old, right? I mean, of course, in the colonial times, but I mean, so much of our expansion happened after that, you know?
Right.
But yeah, that place just reeks of history.
Speaking of, like, if you're going and walking by an old building and there's a plaque that describes, are you one of those people that stops and reads it?
That's so funny. Not only do I read it, sometimes there's a caption that suggests what might have been going on at the time or something, and I'll like take snap pictures of it or remember it because I love that. I love, and you know, we have a history now of saving a lot of those buildings and plaques, and I love seeing the history behind a structure. What about you?
Yeah, and even going to, I did like Letchworth for the first time last year. Like, it took me this long in my life to go to Letchworth and to read about the trails and to read how it was formed, and so stopping and taking it all in and understanding what I'm seeing. So yeah, I'm kind of a nerd and I do take it all in, and I want to, when I'm at the zoo, like a lot of people are looking at the animals, I'm like reading about the animals on all of the
and
things.
where they're from and their migration patterns.
And
Right,
their climate and their meals and when they sleep.
And what part of the world they came from and where they migrated to, right?
So someone might say, oh, weren't they cute? I'm like, I don't know if they were cute. I was too busy reading about that.
That is, yeah. Or whenever you go to a vista, sometimes there'll be like a marker there that shows you the history of like the overlook. Have you ever been to one of those, like an overlook?
A villa or a vista?
A vista. Like if you pull over, like on the side of, there's one in East Aurora actually, on Mill Road, where you overlook this area and it kind of describes what you're seeing and the history of that.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a vista. It just came to mind, but yeah, I do that all the time. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Glad we got that covered.
At a vista near you. Check them out. It's really cool. I love that stuff. I'm the same way. I'm the same way.
Patrick with his popped collar at the Vista.
Yes. Most people call it a road stop. We pulled over at the Vista.
Okay. Anyway, have a wonderful
For a light
weekend.
snack.
Bye, everybody.